All right, so this video is for my fellow Vikings fans or those that are interested in what the Minnesota Vikings are going to do in this year's NFL draft, which is coming up tomorrow, Thursday. And the Vikings pick 24th. And what they did great in free agency this year is they pretty much addressed most of their holes that they needed to fill, which means that they can pretty much sit back and pick the best player available. So it's kind of hard for me to already feel disappointed in this year's draft unless they're reaching for someone, because ultimately I think there are a lot of great players that you just kind of wait and hope to see who drops to you, whether it's the offensive lineman, Zabel, who comes from North Dakota State. If he falls, a lot of mock drafts have him going possibly 15th or so, then you snag him. If it's a top end corner that drops to you, then you get him. Will Johnson, if out of nowhere he drops to 24, you're taking him because you could fill a hole with corner for sure. Safety is another position of need that maybe you can select. Running back, if they select Omarion Hampton from North Carolina with the 24th pick, I'll be happy. Why not? Get a rookie running back in there. Aaron Jones is obviously up there in age. And ultimately, you got to start planning for the future. So McCarthy's your quarterback. You're moving forward. That's great. Ideally, I know it's not exciting, but technically speaking, wouldn't be a bad idea to trade down and accumulate more picks. Right now, the Vikings only have a first-round pick, a third-round pick, a fifth, and a sixth-round pick. That's 4 picks for the whole draft. Granted, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah has not been the finest with his draft picks in the past few years that he's been a GM, but he's been great in signing undrafted free agents. Ivan Pace is a perfect example of that. So we will see how the Vikings handle this draft. But overall, Viking fans, you guys got to feel pretty good. I mean, at this point, just kind of lay it all play out the way you see it. There's rumors that the Bears might trade up with the Patriots for the 4th pick in the draft to take Ashton Genty, which looks like he could be a stud. But the key word or key phrase is looks like. So as a Viking fan, I would love to see that. I would love to see the Bears trade assets up to get Genty, even if he ends up being a great running back. You're paying him already pretty good money right off the top, and ultimately, the Bears are an up and coming team. They will be better. I do believe that, but they have other holes to fill too. And getting the splashy running back right now, while that's a position that you can avoid, that you can fill with, whether it's free agency or or other positions, you gotta essentially hope that he's Saquon Barkley right off the get go. And he's still going to be a rookie. He's a rookie running back. So, yeah, you take chances. I get it, but it depends on how much draft capital they give up. The only reason I'm saying this, and I'm skeptical of them making that trade, is because what I saw is that they would be trading up from 10 to 4, plus giving up a second-round pick, plus giving up a third-round pick in next year's draft. So, quite frankly, with running backs, they've had 1 year of resurgence suddenly with Saquon, and then the Eagles went out right away and paid him all this money. But the reason Saquon, yes, he's a stud, obviously, but the reason they won with Saquon is because everything around Saquon. Otherwise, why didn't the Giants make noise when he was playing with the Giants? Saquon is arguably the best running back in the league for sure. But realistically, you got to fill all those holes. You need the offensive line. Ben Johnson's now there. And yes, he had Jahmyr Gibbs. Guess what Jahmyr Gibbs had? An A-plus offensive line. He had great receivers. He had David Montgomery, another back to go along with him. So a great tight end in Laporta. So again, the Bears don't have all those playmakers just yet. Sure, you get the running back in there, and now you start filling the other holes for sure. But ultimately, I do think that they got to start planning for the future as well. Some of the free agents they brought in are great free agents, no doubt. But they're also a little bit older. Thuney that they got from the Chiefs is a little bit older. So I would be more scared of them if they drafted a top offensive lineman, to be quite honest, because I think that is smart team building. So we will see what the Bears do. The Lions obviously are going to be great next year. The Packers picking a few spots ahead of the Vikings. And I think with them, honestly, with them, they have a good squad. It just comes down with seeing what Jordan Love is going to do. And is he the guy from 2 years ago, or is he the guy from last year? Which Jordan Love are we getting? If he's a top 10 quarterback, this Packers team might win the division. But if he's not, then, they might not even make the playoffs, but they're well coached. Ultimately, the NFC North is the toughest division, I think, in football right now, and was last season. And we'll see how it all plays out. I think there are four great teams. The Bears are obviously the up and coming team that, it's all on Caleb Williams' shoulders. And the Vikings kind of the same, where it's all on JJ McCarthy's shoulders. The difference is that right now they're better built around McCarthy than the Bears are. And so really it's up to McCarthy. If McCarthy and Caleb Williams had the exact same statistical season next year, the Vikings would finish higher in the standings because of everything around McCarthy. And that includes even if they draft Ashton Genty. So again, we'll see if they do trade up. I mean, I'll eat my words later, obviously, but I'm saying even if he's a stud, even if he turns out to be Jahmyr Gibbs, giving up a second round pick and a third round pick for next year's draft, and obviously moving up from 10, I don't know. At that point, you're giving up a second and a third, and those could be starter caliber players that would be there for your future when you're expected to win Super Bowls with Caleb Williams. I don't think the Vikings or the Bears are going to win the Super Bowl this year with rookie quarterbacks. I mean, Caleb's not a rookie anymore, but they're young. The Bears are young. So I don't see them winning the Super Bowl. I think you should be smart and build for the future. That's my opinion. We'll see how they handle it. Whereas the Vikings, Viking fans need to tame their expectations. For me, I want McCarthy to be amazing, but it would have to be the most ridiculous season ever for them to win a Super Bowl, which could happen. I mean, Joe Flacco didn't put up crazy numbers. He had a great Super Bowl run, a string of a few great games when they won the Super Bowl. The Eagles did it with Nick Foles. So sure, if the team around the quarterback is fantastic, the quarterback doesn't have to be. I do believe in JJ McCarthy, and I think he's going to be great, but I think he's still a rookie quarterback. So the expectation of Super Bowl is pretty crazy and ridiculous. So I'd be happy if they made the playoffs, give him some experience. Next year, that's when I'm thinking Super Bowl, because I think right now they need to build this team for the next 2 or 3 years after McCarthy's quote-unquote rookie season, because obviously he missed all of last year because he was injured. So we'll see how the draft goes. I'm very laid back, chilling, and going to be excited. You have to trust, who the Vikings pick at this point. I'm not going to act like I know how good Malachi Starks is going to be, or, how good, the corner from Texas is going to be. I just trust what they do, but I ultimately just want them to pick the best player available that drops to them at 24, or technically speaking, it's less exciting. But a trade back wouldn't be terrible if you can still snag one of those players that falls in the draft, and you start building for the future. So we'll see how it all turns out. I'm sure there'll be a lot of trades and stuff coming up, which I'm excited to see. The draft is finally here. We're just getting a little closer to football season, so can't wait. All right. I'll probably recap the draft when it's over and see if any of these things happen and what we think. And if the Bears only end up trading 1 second-round pick to move up, then I like it. But a second and a third might be a lot. All right, we'll see. Talk to y'all later.